Hi, this is Bianca Stump, your instructor. By now, you've hopefully successfully navigated our Blackboard course site for History 222 and completed those required 3 elements of the course orientation, reviewing Campbell online resources on the Campbell University website, also reviewing our course syllabus and its calendar, including the other item I had posted under the syllabus and text button, the tutorial for SAS curriculum pathways, and then finally participating in the virtual discussion on getting to know you and America. At this point, with the orientation in your rear view, you're ready to begin the typical or regular material in our class. And to do that, you would click on the Content and Assignments button and scroll down to week 2, which is our first unit. At this point, I want to just provide a tour of Unit 1 in our second week of work together. Each of the subsequent units, Units 2 through 5, will have this same format. You'll see under the Content and Assignments button the chapter readings for each unit. In the event here that you're checking out Unit 1, you see that we're doing Reconstruction, Chapter 16, The Contested West, Chapter 17, and Business and Politics, Chapter 18. You'll also notice the learning outcomes to frame your review of this material. I like to give students the acronym SPRITE, like the soft drink, S-P-R-I-T-E. In any given unit of study, in any history class really, not just this one, you're looking at the S, the social, the P, the political, the R, the religious, the I, the intellectual and cultural, T, the technological, and E, the economic. So each time you're tackling a unit's quiz, discussion board forum, or blog, and the writing assignment, looking at the videos, reviewing the lecture notes, looking at those misconceptions and difficult topics that I present in each unit, you're looking at those threads, those themes in American history. You're looking at the social, the political, the religious, the intellectual, the technical, and the economic, and these learning outcomes suggest just that. All right, enough of the philosophy. When you click on Unit 1, you'll see the Unit 1 reading and self-assessment questions. As you're reading Chapter 16 through 18, I've composed here for you some questions just to be thinking about. You're free to write them down. You're free to just read them and use them as a frame. I encourage you after your reading to come back to these, see if these are questions you feel comfortable answering. Again, as just a sort of self-assessment of the reading you've done for this unit. Then you can look at the video series from Annenberg, the Reconstruction, America at its Centennial, the Industrial Supremacy, the West, and then the Capital and Labor videos. These are great if American history is something you haven't studied in a long time, or what maybe you encountered in high school is not familiar to you anymore. And then if you're looking for a more humorous approach, but still a historically accurate one, I've posted in each unit, Unit 1 here as an example, videos from the Crash Course John Green series. And of course, those online lectures from Lecture Point. In this case, you would want to check out Reconstruction Politics, Transforming the West, Rise of Industry, and begin if you want to sort of review, but also mostly preview. You could even go into looking at some of the points raised in United States in 1900, the 4th lecture linked under Part 2, 1865 to the present. Those misconceptions, and I mentioned these in the orientation video, but I would encourage you to use these as the way to extend and create an analytical framework for your work in this unit. Having reviewed this, you're ready for your Unit 1 quiz once you've completed the required reading. For the discussion board this time, I'm asking you to evaluate both the political and the moral ethical for evaluating the Emancipation Proclamation and Abraham Lincoln. So you will consider the following background information that I provide in an effort to create your response to Lincoln's decision to emancipate slaves. Was it moral? Was it political? Was it both? What are the limits of the Emancipation Proclamation? And what are its legacies? And not only will you explain your position fully using specific and relevant historical details, this is our opportunity to get engaged with one another, and you will reply critically to a classmate. The "yeah, I agree," the cut and paste off Wikipedia, that sort of approach will not earn you the credit, but your analytical and candid response and interaction with each other will. I'm going to go back to that Unit 1 in Week 2. Just to highlight for you, your written response. This week, your written response is actually a foundational assignment. I'm going to open up the PDF version. I've crafted for you here a reading adapted from the Library of Congress's American Memory Materials that basically asks you to read about primary sources versus secondary sources. So it's a reading, and then after you read about our discipline, you'll participate in a mind walk activity. This is sort of like a journal or free response, and you will be in the document that you ultimately submit to me, putting your written answers to these questions. Having answered those 5, you will then go on to read a primary source, actual material from the era being studied. And you'll notice that I intentionally don't provide a historical context for you. I don't give you the author's name, but using the evidence that you see in front of you, you will try to answer, and these are written answers that you will compose, your best responses to numbers 1 through 7. Like all good historians, you will use specific and relevant quotations from the historical document that preceded these questions to help you answer or to provide support for the best guesses that you make, the educated guesses you make on the author's gender or race or beliefs or prejudices. To completely and successfully tackle this first writing assignment, you'll do all the reading and you'll be submitting in a single Word document your written responses to Mind Walk. And also, after those 5 Mind Walk questions, your written responses to these 7 questions on the primary source. Again, one that you are going to be responsible for finding out the context of, like a historian stumbling upon a source without the footnotes, the source that begins, "A great general has said that the only good Indian is a dead one." All right, with that preview, I think you're equipped to tackle Unit 1, and I'll be here virtually, ready to answer your questions via email and phone, and look most forward to reading and reviewing all of your work. Thanks for your patience and your hard work. Take care.